We were rolling early this morning. I have a number of things to do before I even remotely consider going to the Meadows. I had to get up early. I felt terrible. Amy and Ollie, you know, you want to talk about troopers. We get home at 11 o'clock. It was fine. Amy and Ollie got home from Ontario. Now, Oliver played baseball last night, 6:30 to 8:30 last night, and Amy drove. The plan was with Amy, I said, don't drive when you're tired. You never should do that. If you want to stop in Buffalo or Erie, get 3 or 4 hours sleep, and then Ollie has a baseball game this morning. Now, he could have just skipped the game, but he wanted to make sure that he was there for these Ohio kids also. So, but Amy, she said she was fine. She drove straight through, and Amy and Oliver got to the house at 2:30 in the morning. Now, Amy, I left her sleeping in, obviously. But Ollie, I woke up. Ollie's at the ball game right now. We just dropped him off at the warm-up. Tim and I are on our way to Northfield Park. I'll be there in 16 minutes, and I have to train 3-point blue chip, and my name's Wayne. Wayne is racing her first lifetime start on Wednesday, and 3-point blue chip is getting ready to race potentially next Friday. I'd like to go a mile at 2:5, 2:6 with both of them this morning. If Wayne feels good, well, she's going to feel good, I'm sure. She's going to race Wednesday at Northfield Park in the maiden. And 3-point blue chip has races coming up. It's time to start going with him. I think on a smaller track, he's still going to chew at himself a little bit. So we're going to put some padding on him today. I don't think going any faster than 2:5 would be beneficial to him right now. So that's the plan for 3-point blue chip. If he trains good, he feels strong, which is possible, we could potentially race him next week at Scioto. That may be a stretch, but that will be up to him. So that's where I'm on a rush to. That's what I'm in a rush to do right now. I also have to go back to the barn. I want to jog in New York. They said he was a little pinchy starting out yesterday. The plan was to take him to Kentucky, race him in the fairs in Kentucky, maybe a couple, 2-3 times. See how he is over the next 5-6 weeks. Maybe turn him out and bring him back in the fall. There's nothing wrong with that. He needs time to mature. There is no point in reporting that he's perfectly fine and ready to go when I know that he's going through some maturity, right? There's a number of horses that may fit in that category. So that's the plan with everybody this morning. I'm going to make my way back to the barn. I asked Jason McGinnis, I said, hey, could you have them ready to go on the track at 26 minutes after 8? Go on the track so that I can head out to Ollie's baseball game. If I get off the track at 8:40, I'm going to make it back for first pitch in Cuyahoga Falls, I think is where he's playing. I can watch pretty well. I actually, now that I see how close it is to the Turnpike, we can watch the whole first game. I won't be able to obviously see any of the second game, but the entire first game I should be able to watch of Ollie's team this morning. And then I'll go to the Meadows race all day, and then I'm done for the day. Ollie has another game at 11 o'clock, and then he's all done for the day. Might barbecue a little bit today. Might be a barbecue day. Maybe. Anyway, I wanted to talk about what my morning looks like, what last night. I'm going to talk about right now what last night looked like, and the way that we've been touting some of the horses. Now, Cherry's Girl certainly flew under everybody's radar. She was just a blip on mine, but certainly looks a lot better now that I've seen her race, and I've seen how the way she's handled herself in her first lifetime start. She looked like a professional, which that is the complete opposite of how she's looked all year. But as I said to everybody, that is a good note. It allows everybody to see the horses for what they were and what they are, and see the horses for what they could be. Change can happen when they see the starting gate, like that sometimes. They get in behind that starting gate, the wings open up, sometimes they do change, and that's exactly what happened with Cherry's Girl this year for sure. She looked like a real contender. Somebody asked me, what do you think? I said, well, I guarantee you she's a good Stallion Series filly. She might be a Sire Stake filly if she continues to advance. I had no idea what she's going to do, but she looks really, really good right now. Now, Uncle Danny's a little different. We always knew he was good. We've touted him as our best Ohio-bred trotting colt, the colt that will be representing us in the next generation. His qualifier was impressive. to say the least. And then to have him come out and decimate that field last night the way he did, again, earplugs in, driving away, and as I say all the time, the way I love it, just that merciless fashion, no hesitation when they attack, clear to the lead and drive off. That is exactly how I want to see him. Now, my only tiny dig is he's got flip-flops on, and I bought him new boots last night behind, and you could see where he was brushing up both shins behind. Now, not hitting them like 3-point blue chip does from time to time, just kind of scrubbing up and down the boots. Now, I could tell you we could take the flip-flops off him. He may stop doing that. They may dissipate it. And it may stop it. But taking the flip-flops off right now, I believe would also put him in a place where he might be susceptible to getting a little sore in his knees, and I don't want that. So rather than risk that, I would simply say, it's not bothering him, it's not bothering me. And I think that, where are all these cops going? There's 2 pulled over there. There's 2 there. So I would say, it's not broken, don't try and fix it type thing. So I think Uncle Danny, we're not going to make any changes to Uncle Danny for the next generation. He's ready to go right now, and he is ready to go a pretty good mile. I think the horse is brimming with confidence, looks great, and is an extremely strong colt right now. Manhattan Money Race, good. I don't think it changes my plan with him. It was, and it still remains that we'll put him in the condition claimer here. He got a good trip last night. He did everything he possibly could last night to finish second, and I know he was 3-1 going on the track. It's a tough crew. I guess in that regard, I'm a little torn. You know what? I'm going to mull it over, I guess, for the weekend. What the plan with Manhattan Money? Mosquitoes are in here, Jesus. With Manhattan Money, because the class does go for pretty good money. I think it goes for $11,000 or $12,000 in the Meadows, and he was 3-1, and I assume the horse that won the race is now out of that class. So at least until he gets out of the non-winners at 3, maybe we could leave him there. I don't know. But he certainly raced good last night. Tried a 55-4, I believe the fastest mile of his life. First over from second over at the half, first over getting into the last turn, and got picked off by a 4-5 horse that is just simply a little bit better horse. I drugged the only horse on paper that was going to beat me anyway. I towed him right up into the race, and he did exactly what he was supposed to do, and that was beat me. So Manhattan Money race good. Captain Incredible race good. All these little changes, as a driver, I can see them and I can feel them. You can't, right? The reality of the situation is the horse that beat him was racing in the Sire Stakes. He was a mild contender in the Sire Stakes, but certainly has faced stake company and looked good on paper. We did put that go straight on Captain Incredible last night. Do I think it took away from his overall velocity? It's hard to say. It felt like it did, but again, he paced 51 flat, 27-3 on the end of it or something. A pretty respectable mile against 2 pretty respectable colts. I did say to Tam, I said, the track was dug up and in good shape, but had a little cushion on it. Now, I think he may have been spinning off those half-run, half-sweat shoes up front. Those are not normal shoes to wear on a horse up front, especially at that speed. And it would be very easy to convince me that maybe he was slipping a little bit in them. I said to Tim, I think if we move him from a closed bridle to a hood with cups and put in a set of aluminum shoes on him up front, I don't know if he'd stay sound in them, but I think he'd go a big mile. I think we could get him closer to or just below 150. I believe we could with the aluminums on up front, and that's likely what we will do at some point. The other question is, do we race him next week or do we wait a week? I really don't have much interest in racing him Friday back Thursday. We could see what's on. We got to go to Scioto potentially on Friday. We could see what's on there also. I think we're creeping closer to where we need to be to race against those good horses. And my only concern and thought is, if we miss a week, are we going to be able to make it up? Are we going to be able to get him back to where he was with that week off? Because the other side of that is, if we don't miss a week, now we're adding on to those starts, right? elusive starts that we believe he has. So here's the conundrum. Do we continue to put muscle on him by racing, knowing that it's going to add to starts that might take away from starts at the end of the year? Or do we continue to let him drift forward ever so slightly, like baby steps forward, knowing that the end game is always going to be the end of the year for this horse? That's a tricky one. I don't want to go into any race, certainly not a race like the Adios, if he's good enough. And he is right there on the doorstep. But he still has some work to do. Those are 49, I mean, love of God, as I say this out loud, Blueprint's likely going to show up at the Adios. This is Braun Burke's horse. Yeah. And if he doesn't, one of the other two really good colts were Sipping on Sea Rock or Swingtown. He's got 3 killers there for sure, not to mention a host of others. These are the horses he has to race against, so he has to be screwed down tight. He has to be ready to go, and he has to be tight enough to do it. And again, I'm left with the same question I just gave you. What's the best way forward? And maybe they're both acceptable way forwards. Who knows? That's the one thing, is everybody, you pose these questions to yourself like there's only one answer. They both could be fine at the same time. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he can race 19 or 20 times. Maybe he is getting stronger. Maybe he will get sounder now that because he was at his knee last night with that go straight on. Problem I had though is the go straight slowing him down a little bit? I don't know, because they went fast. So it's hard for me to say. These are the things that bother me to no end. I think his gait was cleaner last night, and he simply raced against better horses than he did the week before. Can he race against that caliber horse right now? If not, what will it take to get him there? Or can he get there? I can't answer that. Only he can answer that. So that's where we're at right now with Captain Incredible. It's still a good place to be. Listen, he's an incredibly talented animal. He's got 9 lifetime starts and has paced in 51 twice of them, taking a mark of 51 and 1 in one of them. Out of 5/8. This horse still gets to go to Kentucky this season too. Stretch out even more. Anyway, I wasn't disappointed. We all want to see him go and win and win and win and win and win, but there's a process to that too, right? So good night last night at the office. Uncle Danny just crushed them and looked very, very convincing to me heading into the next generation. Manhattan Money, probably one of the better races of his life last night. I'm still torn on, is he going to Northfield Park to race in a class where he's 7-5, 8-5, 3-5? Or do we leave him at the Meadows and race in a class where he could be 3-1, 4-1? I don't know. I don't know yet, but we're going to find out together here the next week. And then, and that's it. Captain Incredible raced good. 2 good horses that beat him. I thought I was second. I'm sure I was second, actually. So 2 good horses that beat him, and he raced pretty good. Now we went down to Southern Ohio, Foxy Seaside. I just tuned in as they were going by the 5/8. 7th coming out of the last turn, a herd closing 4th, 52 and a piece, 27 and 2 on the end of it. You can't ask for much more than that. Bad draw. Simple as that. Bad draw. And then with Gorgeous Package, oh my God, he cut her loose leaving the gate and then moved her again getting into the last turn. I think just, it was a lot for her. She's getting to a place now where, again, we're talking about those condition claimers at Northfield for easier races. I just thought it was a little under what she was when I first thought about it. So we have never raced her in that class. But truthfully speaking, now with a tag of $50-some thousand, you know, her being competitive in the Buckeye, but not a killer in the Buckeye. You know, a true killer would have went out of the 8-hole, crossed over the lead, sat in the 2-hole, removed, and jogged. She did not. She paced 52 and a piece, but that's what it takes to be a Buckeye horse in Ohio in 2025. So I am not too worried about. Gorgeous Package. That mile last night and what she's been doing is very well, but it also puts her in a better place. Where that sounds stupid to you because she was 6th and 6th or 6th and 7th her last 2, but it also allows me to look at the playing field a little bit different and say, okay, well now we can race her in this class, and this is why. And I think in that class, she makes an awful mess of them here at Northfield for a little while. So although I wouldn't say she got beat up, she got raced hard in her last 2 races, but that's racing. but it also opens an avenue that was maybe I didn't know was there before. So that was tonight. Today is going to be exciting. I know they said Save America 6 a.m. Obviously, that's not true. He's going to race at 8:54 p.m., not a.m. tonight. Highest honor is going to be our first pacing colt of the year. He races today at 1 o'clock, race 3, I believe, or 2. Arrowhead Hanover is in today. I have decided I am going to race him. I'm just going to have to race him accordingly. Because if we scratched him today, in preparation for next Thursday's race, he would have to train hard today. Now, he may not train in 55, obviously, or 56, where he's going to have to go, but he would have trained in 59 or 2 minutes. So we'll race him today. I'll race him accordingly. If you're out there wondering if I'm going to blast him out of there or be first over hard with him, probably not. I'm going to race him accordingly and try and win the race, but I'm going to do it in a conservative manner. Patrick DePirana is in a good spot again today. Roser and AJ, he's coming to an end here at the stable if he can't put in a good effort today. Rock Shining Star looks like he's in a great spot, and then all eyes will be peeled on Time Is On My Side at 9:40. Excited to see what he does tonight. So that's a recap of last night. Obviously, you hear the sense of urgency in my voice. We're here now. I got to go train this horse, and then I am back to Oliver's baseball game for a 9 o'clock post. You're all caught up. Amy and I will be doing the videos all day. You're all caught up with what went on last night, what's going on today. The only thing you don't know is what's going to take place in a minute. Take care. We'll talk to you all very soon. Have a great Saturday.